What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and we are headed back to the film room to take a look at Oregon State safety Kitan Oladapo and his fit with the Green Bay Packers defense. Really quick on Oladapo, 6'2", 216 pounds, 8.63 RAS at strong safety. Posted some pretty solid numbers at the combine in terms of the 40, the 10-yard split, and the vertical jump. In his last two seasons, a pretty versatile deployment with the Oregon State defense. 560 snaps in the box, 459 at free safety, and 470 in the slot. A pretty strong 2023 as well. 9 pressures, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 7 pass breakups. So now let's dive into the film room to take a look at Oladapo's strengths, what he needs to work on, and how his potential fit looks with this Packers defense. All right, guys, here we go into the film room, taking a look at Kitan Oladapo. And I think the first thing you notice with Oladapo is how good of a presence he is against the run, right? When it comes to filling downhill in the box, running the alley, all of that stuff. He's really, really good here. Good job coming downhill, wrap up tackle early in the play there. This is a nice job against Washington, just recovering, right? Almost loses leverage to a receiver here, spins out of it, and then he's able to just kind of sift through traffic and make an easy play, force the running back out of bounds. Here again, just a really good job flowing to the play, good angle, good leverage, dips underneath potential contact, and does a really nice job wrapping up there. You just see this a lot with him, right? And I think this, it's just a match of physicality, playing with low pads. Low man's going to win here. Truthfully, I'd love to see Oladapo wrap up more, and I think we're going to get into that near the end of the film. But I do think a good job of just getting lower than the running back to bring him down there. Against Oregon, just a really nice job. Flow downhill, dip under contact, really good wrap up there. Again, Oregon was a tough team to play against, especially with Bucky Irving, and I think he did a really tremendous job in that game. Once again, running backs bouncing off a couple guys on defense, but not Oladapo. Really nice wrap up tackle there coming downhill. How about run the alley against Utah here? Little hesitation, but again, a good job wrapping up down low and making a play. And I think what you can do with him, right, when it comes to defending the run in the box, is he can shoot gaps, right? He's going to be able to beat offensive linemen to spots because he's quicker than them, right? And he still plays physical, working downhill. And I think when you talk about the tackling in general, of course, everybody misses tackles, but against Oregon, against Bucky Irving, who made guys miss all year long, really the past 2 seasons, just to be able to wrap him up consistently in this game was really, really impressive. And also just the way he kind of attacks as well. This is a really nice job against Oregon, right on a perimeter throw. Just really good. How you arrive at contact, how you attack. Really love that technique as a tackler there. And again, show off the range against the run where you're in a good position with good leverage, but now it's just, okay, there's been disruption. Go attack downhill now. Show off that range. And again, a really strong wrap up against one of the better running backs at forcing missed tackles in college football. And again, when you can line them up in the box and you line them up as kind of the end man at the line of scrimmage, you can do a lot of different things. Blitz, but you can also muck up the passing window here like he does. Good recognition skills, good timing to break up the pass at the line of scrimmage. Now, I think the other thing when you look at Oladapo is the hustle, right? The ability to go track guys down. Here against Dylan Johnson, right? He's really not in the play until he has to be. Hustles and then forces the fumble on top of it, right, to give possession back to Oregon State. Now, up top again, he's here in coverage against the running back. Throw over the middle of the field, and he's immediately saying, all right, can I track this guy down? Tremendous job. Probably saves a touchdown here against one of the speedier receivers in college football. Again, he gets a little out of position, right? A little downhill too fast. Not a great angle to defend this run to the outside. But the ability to recover and hustle, leap his own teammate to go make a play. Really, really impressive job there with the hustle. Now, when it comes to the coverage aspect of things, I think you see pretty good recognition skills, right? He's opening up, expecting a vertical route, but then recognizes that the receiver is peeking to the outside. So recognizes the sail route, does a nice job driving on it, adjusts the footwork, be in a really good position to make a play. Now, he does flash some ability on the back end. I don't think he's going to ever play free safety for Green Bay, but the ability to be in position here in closed space and have a chance to make a play on the ball Shows off a little range on the back end and why Oregon State trusted him in situations like this. Same thing here again, where he's just recognizing the route, right? Out and up concept where it's good technique by the corner, basically disrupt this route, but Penix is going to throw this anyway. And again, good footwork, a good path to the football there to potentially make a play if the throw was on target. Again, a good job here against a tight end where little out of position in coverage, right? Loses inside, but the recovery and extension to break up the pass was almost still caught. But if he doesn't, get in that window there with his hand, it's going to be an easy touchdown. So really, really nice there. I think he can stay smooth in transition too, where it looks really simple. Like that was really nice, where you are in a position in off coverage where it's not easy against receivers. So receiver peeks inside, so you're ready to attack this direction. But make a quick adjustment with great footwork and great flexibility. Really, really impressive there. And then in this one where, he's side saddle-ish technique here in the slot where, basically protecting the outside, want him to work inside, but just the ability to transition really easily out of that pedal. I'm impressed with how Oladapo plays there. And now this one again, where it's a vertical route, right, to split the middle of the field, to cut it in half. Oladapo, good speed turn, right, and then gets into a good position at the catch point to potentially make a play if the throw is on target. So the speed turn, really, really impressive there. Off coverage against the receiver again, against USC, where pedal, he's ready to open up. Again, not a great kind of position in transition here, but he does enough of the job where he's in a good position to make a play, and we get a pass breakup. Like, that patience, but also he's ready to open the gate there, but to close downhill in a hurry for such a bigger safety, really, really impressive. Handling tight ends won't be an issue for him. He drives on the crosser really, really well, in a good position there where the margin of error really, there isn't much when you're driving on crossers and you're in a good position like that. Quarterbacks are going to have to make really, really precise throws. Same thing here against UCLA against tight end where he's in a position, he's driven on the ball, he's in the hip pocket, he's ready to make a play, and it's just like you have to throw a perfect pass, and even then it might not get completed. Get in a good position, right? Want to obviously play with inside leverage, want to make sure that this throw is going to be, outside the numbers, right? We're going to protect the middle of the field, protect the easier throw, but just the ability in transition, good footwork to drive on this sail route, and he's in really, really good position to make a play. All right, and again, driving on a crosser against a receiver, not an easy thing to do, but he's in the hip pocket, and he does a really, really good job. How about as a blitzer, right? Oregon State did use him as a blitzer plenty of times where, love this, just get the running back out of the way, and then a really, really physical play there with the sack on Caleb Williams. Against Utah, there were a couple of really nice ones where you see him shooting the A-gap, and obviously protection's not ready for it. Would like him to finish more here and finish the sack would be really, really nice, but the ability for him to close in a hurry and just be disruptive is a good baseline for what he can do as a blitzer. Now, I think there are some things that he does have to work on, especially in off coverage where you're working catch technique. You need to be in a good position and balanced, right, at contact, because receivers, what they're going to do is they're going to use their hands at that position, right? They're going to get you off balance, and they're going to create separation. That's something he definitely has to work on. Same thing here. It's catch technique, I believe, against tight end, where look at the positioning, right? Pad level down, and Oladapo's just kind of on the receiving end in an upright position where this is what's going to happen. There's going to be separation. He's going to get off balance. You have to improve your technique in that sort of catch technique look against off coverage. So something to definitely monitor there. We talked about this a little earlier, right, with the rep against Washington, where as a tackler, don't just throw the shoulder, right? Don't just throw the shoulder. Wrap up in space, right? I know you're trying to play physical football out there, but it's just you're better off just wrapping up, making a solid tackle. Again, when he plays a little over-aggressive, that's where also missed tackles, I think, show up on his film where, again, it's just wrap up, don't just throw the shoulder, and make sure you're playing under control. And I think as a tackler, he should be fine. Against receivers, it's not fair. Don't give him that type of assignment. It's going to be tougher for him, of course. But I think this is something where you get a few reps here where he's in the pedal. He's looking, I think, for this guy here to break over the middle, and he's going to drive on this play. Got to be weary of this receiver as well, to where he's laid out of this pedal, needs to recognize that. And this is not a good position to be in, where there's a receiver running at full speed. And as good as Oladapo is driving on crosses, we talked about all that, he's not going to have the speed to hang with all the receivers out there. So that's something to monitor. Same thing here again, where he's in the pedal, and receivers just not breaking stride. And so you can't get in a position where you have to flip the hips and run with a receiver at full speed already. You're going to get beat down the field doing that. And here, another example of kind of just being over aggressive and trying to anticipate rather than staying patient, where he's like, all right, I think it's going to be a sail route breaking to the outside. We get into a bad position here. And he's just, again, not going to have that speed to recover necessarily. Couple instances of this, but not a lot, where just he crashes downhill a little too early. It did happen in this game against USC, where we showed off the recovery, right, and the ability to hustle, but just have to make sure not crashing down at too hard of an angle to where you cannot be in position to make a play here. And again, it's a good block, but he kind of gave away leverage a little bit there. That leads to a big run. So Kitan Oladapo does a lot well, and I think it's right to say, he's among the top safeties in the draft, and I think it was definitely a steal in the 5th round. There are still things for him to clean up. I think he's going to operate a lot better in the box, right, handling tight ends than he is on the roof of a defense, of course, right, even though Oregon State gave him those opportunities. But you see a physical player, you see a really good blitzer, a guy who can play, through contact well at the catch point. He can be disruptive there. So he's not, I don't think, limited to a role necessarily. I know Jim Nagy, the Senior Bowl director, brought up, being a dime backer, not out of the question, but a box safety who can handle some slot stuff, who can handle things around the middle of the field, I think is going to be where he's deployed best for the Green Bay Packers. So hope you guys enjoyed this video on Kitan Oladapo. If you did, throw a like down there. Subscribe if you're new. Plenty more draft content and film room stuff coming all summer long. I will catch you guys in the next video. Farewell.